Good morning, my honey. Today, I'm going to introduce genius, but he struggled in dark side of science. I mean, in order to develop our technology, sometime we have to think about. Science has two opposite aspects, like a mirror. Good aspect and dark aspect. For example, you know Alfred Nobel, yes, founder of Nobel Prize. He was a Swedish chemist, engineer, and industrialist, most famously known for the invention of dynamite. It has been said that, since he regretted to invent dynamite, he established Nobel Prize system to encourage people to contribute to healthy development of new technology. Against his idea, his dynamite contribute to kill people during wartime, and Alfred Nobel was entitled to be called father of dynamite. Although the exact motivation behind Nobel's decision is unclear, I believe Nobel wanted to support promoting peace and advancement of human growth. Therefore, the most honorable prize is my personal idea, Nobel Peace Prize among 6 prizes. And, in 1918, it was the most sensational announcement of Nobel Prize in chemistry. Because the winner was Fritz Haber. Sometime people call him as mad scientist or demon scientist. Indeed, because of him, now so many people can survive in this world. Now we have 8.03 billion people in the world. You may surprise to hear that if we did not have Fritz Haber, world population was less than half, just in case. Indeed, in early 1900s, Sir William Crookes, the British chemist and physicist, he predicted a food crisis. In 1898, Crookes delivered a famous address to the British Association for the Advancement of Science, titled, The Wheat Problem. In this address, he warned that the world would face a wheat shortage of 17 million bushels by 1931 due to population growth of the world and the limitations of traditional agriculture. Although Crookes' prediction was not entirely accurate, his warning served as an important wake-up call about the challenges of food security in a growing world. In 1913, Fritz Haber, along with Carl Bosch, developed the Haber-Bosch process, a revolutionary method for fixing atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia, a crucial component of fertilizers. This innovation enabled large-scale fertilizer production, boosting agricultural yields and significantly increasing food production capacity. Therefore, in a way, the Haber-Bosch process and Fritz Haber's work did ultimately help address the food crisis concerns. Apparently, he did excellent job and contributed peace of the world. However, it's not just black and white. While the Haber-Bosch process played a significant role in enhancing food security, it isn't without its complexities. Extensive fertilizer use can lead to water pollution, soil degradation, and greenhouse gas emissions. Yes, it is additional, supplemental production of the great invention of Fritz Haber. But it is not a reason why he is being called as mad scientist, demon scientist. It is because Haber's involvement in developing chemical weapons during World War I casts a shadow on his scientific achievements. He saved invisible billions of people through his Haber-Bosch process. Meanwhile, he also helped to kill visible millions of people by his chemical weapons. Fritz Haber was deeply involved in the development and weaponization of toxic gas during World War I. This aspect of his life paints a complex and controversial picture, alongside his groundbreaking scientific achievements. While Haber is most celebrated for his invention of the Haber-Bosch process, a revolutionary method for nitrogen fixation that increased global food production and saved countless lives, his wartime activities cast a dark shadow on his legacy. So, he stayed both sides, bright side and dark side. Haber had experience with chlorine gas before the war, using it in his lab experiments. When World War I broke out in 1914, he offered his expertise to the German military. Remember, he had strong patriotism, and believing he is doing absolutely good for his mother country. He played a key role in developing effective methods for deploying chlorine gas as a weapon against Allied troops. His contributions included designing gas masks for German soldiers and overseeing the first large-scale use of chlorine at the Battle of Ypres in 1915. Haber's team also worked on developing other toxic gases, such as phosgene and mustard gas, which were even more deadly and horrific than chlorine. Haber's work on chemical weapons significantly impacted the course of World War I, causing immense suffering and casualties. His involvement sparked ethical and moral debates about the use of science for destructive purposes, especially considering his contributions to agriculture and human well-being. The reason why he was called as devil, evil, because he did not show any regret, hesitation, sympathy on the victims. And even he smiled to see the result of his achievement. Yes, it was from his patriotism and the heart to protect his country from any plunderers. But it gave impression for the people that he does not have any heart for human itself. It's important to acknowledge the multifaceted nature of Haber's legacy. While his invention of the Haber-Bosch process undoubtedly improved the lives of millions, his role in developing and deploying chemical weapons remains a dark and regrettable chapter in history. In fact, his beloved wife, Clara Immerwahr, she was also a brilliant chemist and pacifist. She died mainly because of him. The more widely accepted the reason of her death is that Clara took her own life. This decision is believed to be linked to her strong opposition to Haber's wartime involvement in developing and deploying chemical weapons. She saw this work as a betrayal of science and a horrific act of violence, and her internal conflict reportedly became unbearable. Actually, historical record noted that Fritz Haber loved this first wife most and asked him to stay with her in tomb when he passed away, although he had second and third wives accordingly. Anyway, he lost his lovely wife due to his action, and I believe it created deep shadow on his further life. Perhaps we can learn from Clara's story about the importance of ethical considerations in scientific advancements and the devastating consequences of war. Also, it is synchronized with the case of John von Neumann during World War II. He helped to develop nuclear technology for military use, and his main concern was not ethic, moral, but purely academical interesting. It is, unlike Albert Einstein, he suffered the feeling of guilty in his life. Researcher presumed the IQ level of Fritz Haber, John von Neumann is overtaken 200, and in case, reached to 300. It is amazing, and they are living in different world with us. Indeed, it is also true that these rare geniuses produced incredible development of science and technology. Without them, we maybe stay far behind rather than today. However, it is also true that we have to know how difficult to stand up boundary of bright and dark. We are not really so strong, and sometime, or all the time, drop onto dark side, due to its temptation, invitation. Therefore, we have to endeavor to behave well, as much as we can. Especially, the person, who can obtain certain power, status, authority. Before we developed our recent science and technology, God leads us for bright direction to certain extent. However, already so long time passed, after we get used to live in the world, without God. Therefore, exactly because of this, we need more strong sense of ethics, moral, and humanity. Understanding the full story of Fritz Haber and his contributions, both positive and negative, is crucial for learning from the past and navigating the ethical dilemmas of scientific advancements in the present and future.
As the journey continues.